So I want to welcome everyone back to the Psychedelic Spotlight podcast. I'm David Flores, CEO of Global Trac Solutions. And today I have the very distinct pleasure of being joined by Daniel Carcillo, who spent 12 years in the NHL, won 2 Stanley Cup championships with the Chicago Blackhawks, and is currently the CEO and founder of Made Plant Health. Daniel, thank you so much for taking time to join me.
Thanks for having me, David. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, likewise. So I'm hoping that by now, a lot of our viewers and listeners out there have had the opportunity to see your story that was featured on Real Sports with Brian Gumbel. It's a story that certainly is encouraging and quite fascinating, in the sense that I think from the outside looking in, it may be difficult to understand how someone like yourself, who was seemingly on top of the world, you had everything going for you, beautiful family, you earned the right to hoist the Stanley Cup not once but twice, yet unbeknownst to a lot of people around you, you're going through a difficult situation, a lot of suffering and internal struggles. Talk to me a little bit about how does someone who, again, has everything going for them find themselves in a situation where you put it, you said you were mentally and spiritually dead inside. How does that happen? And then walk me through a little bit about the process of how you're able to overcome all of that and, of course, discover the healing powers of ayahuasca.
Yeah. So, I think that's the power of a chemical imbalance brought on by subconcussive and concussive hits, and really not a lot of treatment or recognition of the risks. Recognizing and talking about mental health complications that could arise was something that was never spoken about. So you have to, figure out what's going on with your brain health, with my quality of life. That's what I spent the better part of 5.5 years trying to nail down. And it was, the 7th concussion that really, I saw a lot of the same symptomology that I saw in my friend Steve Monador, who passed away at 34, about 6 months before my retirement. He had, stage 3 CTE all over his brain, and it really scared me. So that sent me deep into a path of just reading the medical literature, talking to the best CT pathologists, going to functional neurologist clinics, and just trying to really understand what happened and then understand how to fix it, and then also advocate for the treatments that I was trying. Some of them would work, some of them wouldn't, but we're all so individualized. And just like psychedelics is one tool, there's a lot of other tools that can be seriously used as weapons to fight these mental health complications that so many of us suffer from, whether that's from what's going on right now with the fear of the unknown and everything going on in the world, or it's derived from emotional, physical trauma like it was with myself, So really that's the mission of just trying to get this information out. Psychedelics really did save my life. And that was one of the scariest things, is you're in a situation where you have a beautiful, healthy family. You have a car in the driveway, you have a roof over your head, you have money to buy food, yet you're thinking about killing yourself. And that is a really scary situation to be in. And, I was there 14 months ago in the darkest place I'd ever been. And it was a hero dose of psilocybin that brought me out of it. And then it was, taking maintenance doses of different adaptogens and medicines. And, I've never felt better, and I've been able to problem solve and mend these relationships that were broken, and also break those destructive thought patterns that I was suffering from. So now it's just a matter of talking about it and using your platform in the right manner. And I really do feel like there's something here in the way of a novel care option for traumatic brain injury survivors, which makes all the suffering worthwhile,
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, definitely. And if there's one quote from you in the Real Sports episode that really sort of struck me and stood out, it's, you say, "I'm just looking for more peace of mind, less suffering." And that really hit me. Because I know that it's something that millions of other individuals out there across the globe are also looking for, and looking to find a way to end the suffering that they're experiencing. And unfortunately, given where psychedelics are right now, the fact that they've been kind of kept in the shadows for the better part of the last several decades, given the fact that, the war on drugs from Nixon, pushing psychedelics out into the shadows there, But obviously, there's a paradigm shift that we're experiencing. The conversation surrounding psychedelic healing is changing, and that's great from an accessibility standpoint. And so now, knowing what you know now and how psychedelics like psilocybin and ayahuasca have helped get your life back on track, how important is it for us to continue this push to get psychedelics into the mainstream so that people out there who can benefit the most from them have the opportunity to really experience what you've been able to experience?
Yeah, there's a big stigma, and that was created for a number of various reasons. And I think that the way that we beat stigma is obviously through anecdotal stories of these medicines helping people, but also through science. And so I always direct people to institutions like Johns Hopkins University and all of their publications, from smoking cessation to end of life anxiety in cancer patients, terminal cancer patients. And it's hard to argue with those kind of numbers that these studies are showing, just the beneficial properties of these medicines and how it can improve, even facing death, facing the biggest unknown that we all have, right? So looking at that and really just highlighting these studies, and then also doing the good work, most recently been building behind the scenes pretty diligently and silently, Made Therapeutics, which will complement Made Plant Health. Made Plant Health being the medicinal mushroom and CBD business, and Made Therapeutics researching onloading and maintenance doses of psilocybin, specifically for traumatic brain injury and post-concussion syndrome. Because, like I said before, there's no novel care option, and I really do believe that we have to do the work through clinical trials. And we're going to do that work through an IMPD with Health Canada and through indication filing with the FDA for traumatic brain injury. And that's the scary thing. And that is most definitely what brought on those suicidal ideations, and how anxiety and the depression that I was suffering from grew into that, because I've tried so many different modalities, but I was also tracking with brain scans, and I was in the same position, spent a lot of money and a lot of time after 4 years and didn't get any better. And I tried most to all and really did apply myself to a lot of these treatment modalities. And I was an extreme case. And it was that mushroom ceremony coupled with, changing my lifestyle and these maintenance doses. And that really did it for me. And then, you prove it through science, you prove it through the QEEGs and retesting blood. So there's something here, and you just have to, because of the stigma and the scheduling, you have to prove it out and validate it the right way. And my goal has always been to help as many people as I can. So I try to use my platform in that manner, linked up with the Decriminalized Nature guys, Carlos and Larry, who have a really great way of advocating for these plant medicines and fungi to restore our inalienable right to use them. And I've always advocated for that and always will, but I also understand that there's these clinical models that could really help people that are suffering from, 15, 20 ailments. Like, it wasn't just anxiety, depression, it was slurred speech, light sensitivity, headaches, head pressure, concentration, focus issues, short-term, long-term memory loss, insomnia. It was a lot of things that are brought on due to all of the subconcussive hits that I sustained. So I really do think that, I believe in the decrim nature model. I believe in a clinical model, like Oregon and Initiative 109.
Right.
And I also believe in over-the-counter, being able to prove this out, validate efficacy and safety, and have a pharmaceutical over-the-counter that TBI patients can access. Because right now, like I said, there's no novel care options. So you just try to help as many people as you can. And it's not that one's the best route or this one or not that one. It's, you advocate for all of them, because a whole host of different demographics are going to be able to access it, and why exclude one from the other, right? So
right yeah, and that's really, what it's all about, is increasing accessibility, making sure that those out there that can benefit from this the most are able to experience this. And so I think what you're doing obviously is moving everything in the right direction. You mentioned Measure 109 in Oregon. That's a huge step forward for psychedelics in general. You also mentioned changing your lifestyle, and I want to bring that back to Made Plant Health and what you're working on here with this, because that ties into it. Psychedelics are a component of healing. There's no question about that, but it's just one component. When you incorporate it with a change in lifestyle, change in diet, eating habits, everything like that, that's where you really start to see the profound changes and benefits. And so I know a lot of what you're working on here with Made Plant Health sort of ties into all that. So talk to me a little bit more about the actual products that you guys are working on there and how this all ties into creating a better lifestyle for people out there.
Of course, yeah. So number one, it's all natural medicine. We use a lot of USDA certified organic ingredients, and we meld medicinal mushrooms with CBD. Specifically, there's a solventless process that we use with our full spectrum line that none of the medicine touches alcohol, ethanol, or gets degraded. Doesn't get too hot, doesn't get too cold, comes right out of the field, grown with no pesticides, herbicides, tumbled, and we use the keef in our encapsulations and meld that with medicinal mushrooms. For example, the Neuroflex is the solventless CBD keef melded with a 6 mushroom blend of lion's mane, reishi, cordyceps, chaga, agarikon, and turkey tail, as well as turmeric and piperine to activate. So a really great product, and one of the products that I've used the last 14 months. Some aspects of these products will be researched through these Health Canada and FDA trials. So it's nice to have what can be in the market right now in commerce without the active ingredient of psilocybin. And there's also, a mycoimmune. There's also standalone mushroom products. It's a 14 mushroom blend. And, if people go to mushroomreferences.com, there's a lot of scientific research and literature and clinical trials done on lion's mane, on reishi, on cordyceps, so people can get educated about how it can increase immunity, especially with, the environment that we're living in. Their mushrooms are antiviral and antibacterial in nature. So I encourage people to look at it, and all of our products and our product line is targeted at brain health and immune health. And so that's what you get with, taking something like CBD. It's a neuroprotectant. The U.S. government has taken out a patent in 2003 on all non-psychoactive cannabinoids as neuroprotectants and antioxidants, specifically for Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. So if you're in my situation, which, I was kind of looking at all the literature, what can I do? Alzheimer's runs in my family, neurodegenerative disease runs in my family. We know at the forefront all of this neurodegenerative disease, CTE, being linked to repetitive head trauma. So I'm really at risk. So selfishly, it's a line that I think, really helped save my life. I've been on it for 14 months. Mycoimmune and the Neuroflex specifically. But we also have, Main Brain that has, a small dose of niacin, omega-3s, great for hydration for the brain, and a big dose of lion's mane, which increases BDNF, which is really important for concussion survivors. Increasing brain-derived neurotrophic factor really does help with the healing of the myelin sheath and any damage, and creating these new pathways solidifying, which we all know, the active ingredient of psilocybin does, right? So, just targeting, again, like I said, trying to help these communities that really may not have a natural solution to turn to, because what's available right now is Xanax from our TBI-related anxiety, or Adderall. And I really truly believe, trying to fix a chemical imbalance with a chemical that we truly don't understand the long-term effects of is dangerous. So this is a natural way to try to improve our quality of life and brain health. And we've seen it work really, really well, especially in TBI survivors. So really excited to have that in commerce for sure.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's no question about it. And I'm a huge proponent. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, and to your point about like lifestyle, it's, I advocate for this and been advocating for people to really just watch your diet as TBI survivors. Watch your refined white sugar intake, alcohol intake. Try to watch what you're inputting into your diet as far as these neurodegeneratives, and guard against it, and then use products and use the omega-3s, cook with fish, use food as a tool as well, nutrition, and also like meditation. And I advocate for a lot of different other things that we can do, like self-deprivation tanks, hyperbaric chambers worked for a lot of TBI survivors, TMS. There's functional neurology. There's some really great neurofeedback that people can do, and there's also simple things that you can do, like when your iPhone tells you to just copy a code, don't copy it. Just look at it and try to remember it, and you input it yourself. Like little things where you can work your brain instead of taking the easy way out. Stimulate is really, really important, and the name of the game for us.
Yeah, the simplest and smallest things really, make a huge difference. I think there's no question about that. Obviously, your story resonates, I think, with a lot of other professional athletes that are out there that have participated in high impact sports, whether that be hockey, football, MMA, boxing. Have you had the opportunity, now that your platform has sort of, grown, to connect with any other retired athletes, maybe from the NHL or any other sports leagues?
Yeah, for sure. But when I do, it's, it just stays between us. And but yeah, a lot of former teammates, a lot of active guys that are interested in using this as a tool to enhance their performance and mental capability and creativeness, whether that's on the ice or on the field. But also, an overwhelming amount of guys that played didn't really necessarily understand the risks or how to correlate the symptoms to these TBI traumas, reaching out and just asking what to do. And again, that's why Made Plant Health is such a great tool to, as a reference point to get them started on a road to recovery, and then also just communicating with them the other things that I think that they should try that have been beneficial to a lot of people. So that's the special sauce. That's why you do this. When you do the HBO special and you have it reach millions of people, and then you have an inbox full of former guys who don't know where to turn to, asking questions, and that's why you do this. I just want to help, and I really do feel that in order to keep what you have, you've got to give it away, and so that's what we're trying to do. And it's been a wild 14 months, this path that I've been on, and the way that, I don't want to get too spiritual, but the way that the universe is presenting itself, and these opportunities and these people in my life that all believe in this, that are pushing it forward for the right reasons. It's really, really special. Feels like I've been on this road. It's almost been 5 years now, and we're on a really, really good path, with real outcomes in the future. So it's exciting.
Yeah, that is. It's got to feel somewhat like a rebirth, this entirely new side of life that you're getting an opportunity to experience, and you're sharing it, you're getting out there, you're helping others. And I think that's fantastic. Before we wrap things up, I just want to, I know that you're going through a raise right now with Made Plant Health. So if there's anybody out there that is interested in taking a look from the investment community, where can someone go to find some information about the company if they are in fact interested in investing?
Yeah, it's actually Mid Therapeutics that we're doing the raise for. So as far as that goes, we're going to be strategizing here very shortly about our kind of go-to-market, go public strategy. And so I'm sure people will be able to, access the deck and those sorts of things once we, talk to a bunch of other different platforms. So yeah, immediately we're just, we're private right now, and just kind of doing the back channels and the back circuits. But we've been making some really great connections with a lot of really great people that have backed a lot of these companies, and getting really great response. So I would say just look for some announcements that are coming soon.
Okay. Yeah, we absolutely will. So Daniel, I want to thank you so much again for taking the time to join me here today, sharing your story. It's important to get the word out. And again, you're doing a terrific job in getting the right, information out there to people here through your story. So thank you again for sharing it. I look forward to keeping in touch with you. But thanks. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, David. Yeah, we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, sounds good, Daniel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.